Hey, what's up guys, Super Samurai here. I'm on a Best Picture nominee marathon and sharing my thoughts and predictions for every single movie that was nominated for the big award this year. Today we are diving into All Quiet on the Western Front. This film was nominated for a lot of awards at the Oscars. It felt like it was sweeping every category. It was nominated for so much, and like I said in my predictions video, it got kind of ridiculous. Especially when I was looking for some of my favorite movies to be nominated in the big technical categories. But anyways, I am not going to let that stop me from enjoying this film for what it is. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the technical film to beat this year. So first and foremost, this film is brutal. The imagery in the film holds absolutely nothing back from displaying the raw tragedies of World War I, and the same can be said for the sound design. You can't help but feel like you're living and experiencing the war with these characters. There's a certain feeling of familiarity with this film, however. It may be because I've seen a lot of war movies, but now I truly feel like I've seen this war from every angle, and I don't really know what other stories can be told with this war in particular. The film that will be most compared to this one, however, is 1917, which I think is a cinematic achievement in its own right. It's not impressive on a screenwriting standpoint by any means, but I don't really think it needed to be, which is what I kind of wanted to see more of in this film. I, for one, was particularly confused about the protagonist of the movie. When it begins, it feels like the movie is going to be about him, but other times the film is about the people and events around him. I don't know, for me it doesn't feel like he's given enough for me to really attach myself to this character. He's more of a central point for which we experience the movie from. And I'd be lying if I said I hadn't seen that done before. That's kind of my one really big gripe with the film. I wish it brought something new to the table for this genre, rather than just being like, this is World War I. Here's this kid's story of how he experienced World War I. It was f***ing brutal. I just wish there was more to grasp onto underneath all of that, because listen, this is one of the most technically impressive movies of the year. And it would have ended up higher on the list of nominees if I was more involved with the story it was telling rather than the events that happen in the story. Another thing I will say about this film is that there is not a single bad acting performance in this film. In fact, I would say almost everyone knocked it out of the park with their performance in this movie, and it just goes to show how this year was one of the best years for acting in film. From the slow and sudden processing of emotions walking through the trenches of a battlefield littered with bodies, to the wonder and brother-like chemistry the men all share throughout the film. It's a movie that makes you savor the moments of joy and elation because you just know it won't last long. But then again, this isn't new to me. You'll find a scene or two like this in pretty much any war movie, which goes back to my main problem with this one in particular. It feels too familiar to me. Is it a bias? Sure, but there's plenty more to love about this film aside from all the things you would see in other war movies. Like the fact that despite the familiarity in the story, structure, and screenplay, it thankfully has its own visual style and thematic imagery. If the technical elements in this movie didn't shine as much as they did, people would just write this off as just another war movie and call it a day. But luckily this film has some phenomenal cinematography, gripping sound design, and pretty great editing to boot. And after my official viewing of the film, I can safely say that it deserved a fair amount of the nominations it got. The only nominations I would say weren't all that deserved would be Best Adapted and Score. The screenplay was never noticeably great, and the score is very minimal and rarely impactful in my opinion. Yes, I wanted The Batman to be nominated in that category. If you disagree, keep it to yourself. So I think it goes without saying that yes, this did deserve a Best Picture nomination, and if it won, I wouldn't be upset, but there's certainly better films in this bunch that I would like to see win more. And we haven't got to the real good stuff yet, which just goes to show how incredible this year was for movies. So what did you think of All Quiet on the Western Front? Does it deserve Best Picture? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's see if you can guess what my next film I'm going to be talking about is. What is number 7 on the list of the ranked Best Picture nominees 2023, whatever I'm calling this series. Anyway, as always, please like if you did like it, subscribe for more content, share, support, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.